Wild!
Just right now, we start the show. Are you ready?
I thought so.
Revelator Ryan hanging out here at the Mercy Lounge, one of my favorite venues in town. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Digital Brains,
Yes, sir.
a new project, a new adventure for you, music.
Yeah. It's actually we've been together a couple of years, but it still feels new. It's pretty amazing. You know, it always feels new every day. Yeah.
Now, obviously, we'll get into your musical background if you want later, but you've been, obviously 2 years is very young, is a very respect for a band, any artist at this point. But was this something you always been kind of been drawn to as far as like the alt punk rock stuff? Was that something you always been into?
I came from the rock world, and like so many guys moved down to Nashville, and then found out about this thing making money, playing music,
right?
You know, for other people.
Yeah.
So you kind of, you're a creature of what's going on around you, and that was country music here. So, it's always been there, and it's finally time to let it out.
Now, is there, like I say, with your music background with Jason Aldean and Big and Rich, I think it's pretty well documented. But when you're recording or writing with those guys, do you always kind of push that, a little bit, or is this kind of more?
Well, I think it just comes out naturally.
Okay.
I try not to, be distorted and loud and obnoxious, but it just doesn't work.
Well, I think it also comes. I think every guitar player has a signature sound for the most part. When you hear someone, you're like, oh yeah, that's Zach Wilde, or whoever you want to list there. But with Digital Brains, is that something as far as the guitar sound? I've heard a little bit. So there's a lot of punk influence there. Is that?
There is, and that a lot of that comes from our drummer Corey. He grew up in the punk scene.
Okay.
I'm just angry. So
you don't strike me as an angry guy.
Punk element, I got darkness, man. So,
it's pretty.
No, we got it all in there, man. We all listen. Heck, I grew up listening to metal. I was a Shrapnel Records kid.
Okay. All right.
Listening to Stone Temple Pilots, AC/DC. You name it. Led Zeppelin, all the classics, all the rock and roll is where we're at. And Corey was listening to the Misfits and all that stuff, and Danny, rock and roll, blues. He's from Chicago. We had a pretty good mix.
Yeah, that is you put all together. But I think blues, rock, metals, they all kind of intertwine and overlap to a certain extent, and the lineage there. Especially you're talking about the Chicago area. I always think of the Chicago Blues festivals and stuff. Where there's just that sound. And you hear I think if you don't have a pulse, if you can't get into some of that stuff, for me, that's why I look at it. How do you not enjoy that? And it's obviously not as prevalent today. Music has changed so much. It's very fast and just.
It's all kind of blended together now.
Yeah. Do you think? I mean, you've been on both sides of it. Being in starting this venture with Digital Brains, and then being in the limelight of modern country. Do you think there's a gap with people in the music as far as
I think there's a gap. I heard an interesting thing. No, I shouldn't say it. No, I'm not going to say it. There's a gap. Let's say there's a gap.
Okay.
And I think there still is. I think things are melting together, but there's still a gap. Most definitely.
You're just not connecting with people, I think, maybe on a large scale? Is that it?
Unfortunately, I think rock, as we know it, has kind of died a little in the world, which is part of our mission, is to say fuck you to that, and bring it back a little bit. And now that's been thrown into country music a bit and all that, but I don't think country's got enough balls to go rock and roll, and I don't think rock and roll wants to go fully country, so there's always going to be a gap.
Yeah, it seems like there's like that, people like I call it some pop country, and some of it's good, some of it's like, it's kind of like hip hop, or everybody kind of has that sugar-coated stuff that's for the masses. But you mentioned rock is dead, and everyone talks about that. I think it's more underground now than it ever has.
Yeah.
At least for what I've been doing on the side where there's a lot of really good bands. They're just we're serious. I feel like we're Sirius XM. We're supposed to allow these bands to have access.
Yeah.
It kind of just turned into the same.
Okay. Don't get me wrong. There are some good young rock bands out there, but I don't think they're spreading as much as I would like to see it.
Right.
You know, when I put on a playlist, you know, of new rock, it does not sound like rock and roll. You know?
Well, it's hard to distinguish who's who too, because
Yeah.
you know, when you turn on, sorry Buzz, but if you turn on the Buzz, it's kind of like, oh well, wait, is that Papa Roach or is that, you know, Bring Me the Horizon, or you know, I can't distinguish between one or the other, and there's a formula,
that
and, you know,
happens.
and you know,
That
that
happens
happens.
in every
Everybody
genre.
gets a formula. This is what's happening. This is what we're doing, and goes on with that. But as far as Digital Brains is concerned, as far as record, you guys, is there a record out right now, or you guys?
We've got several tunes out
Okay.
that we released as singles, and we're doing another single coming up in a few months, and then I think we're going to do the full record and put that out, and hopefully hit the road.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I ask you the same thing as I asked the fella.
Yeah.
As far as you know, getting on the road, is there bands in town that you have caught your eye?
Yeah,
Like,
there's
"Ah,
a
man,
there's
you
a
know,
band
I'd like
called
to, you know."
the Rangos.
Okay.
They're really cool.
Okay.
They sound like they have a lot of similar influences that we do, and they just got a cool vibe to them.
right.
I dig them a lot.
Yeah, there's no shortage of bands here in
Yeah.
town, from Taco Mouth, Dead Deads,
Yeah.
Voltage
I know
Hawk. I mean,
Tips,
you know,
Dead Deads are local.
yeah, I got to know them, you know, pretty well over the last 4 or 5 years. You know, they did the Shiprock thing, and we were on there. I had them as like guests. You know,
She used to cut my hair.
No kidding, really, no kidding. Hey, Tish, what's up? Yeah, but so you know, like I said, Nashville is one of those towns where
It's a great
there's
town.
no- yeah, there's-
And you know, about that gap, there's nothing wrong with either side of that gap. You know, it's beautiful music and, you know,
Well, I think it allows,
mesh like it
it allows
does.
it to
but-
breathe too and kind of take on its own thing, and then if it's genuine, people will gravitate towards it.
I think
you know,
so.
and I think there's
Absolutely. And that's what we're trying to do, is just be us.
yeah. Right. Now, did you guys talk about, you know, you mentioned full length album. We've talked with a lot of bands where they're kind of weighing that out. Should we do an EP or should
Yeah.
we do full length? Is you know, a lot of it is budget too, though. So I mean, is that something where you're like, maybe we'll do an EP and kind of gauge the water, and then
Well, it's for us, you know, it's kind of easy to do one song. You know, as far as marketing goes, I'm a musician. I can't think of what the best way to do it is. But I have a little studio kind of at my beck and call underneath my house, and you know, I got some engineers that say it's a basement. I don't call this a studio.
Right.
But you know, everything we've done down there. Almost everything. And we've done a few things with Shannon Forrest, over at his place, but. We can do song by song as much as we want. You know, I'd like to put it as a package. You know, I'd like to have that record that somebody wants to sit down and listen song by song. But I just don't know if anyone really does that anymore. You know.
yeah, we joke on the show all the time, like, you know, like record stores always joke, like, you know, these are these things that were, you know, made of brick and mortar. You would go and find your music that way, you know, and you know that's kind of gone the way. So I think even iTunes is like, screw it, we're done. We're not even doing it anymore. So it's, you know, it's all about the streaming service and getting that.
It's a changed world.
Yeah, it really is. The industry's completely flipped upside down, you know, in the last 15, 20 years. But one last thing I'll let you run here is any guest musicians? Do you reach out to some guys like, hey man, would you like to do some back vocals or?
Not yet, but it may happen. There's a few cats. I mean, there is one of our songs that I did write kind of at the beginning of Digital Brains with a bass player named Tony Lucido.
Okay.
Who's a badass mofo in town, session guy. Comes from the same rock world that we do, and hails from Albany, New York. And, you know, that as far as that goes, and Chad Cromwell, who Neil Young's drummer, him and I wrote part of a song years ago, and that's become a Digital Brains song now. You know, so I've done some writing with some other cats, but we haven't had a guest person on a recording yet. But I'm not going to say that's not going to happen.
Pin that for later,
Some
kind of thing.
amazing musicians. You know.
I don't know, everyone always, you know, ask, you know, band name and stuff. I'm curious, was there a list of names you did not select before selecting Digital Brains?
No, honestly, there wasn't. No.
When was that, or?
That came from actually had that as a song title. And when Corey and I started to put the band together, I think he'll probably say this is the wrong order, but I think we had the song, and I said, hey man, this should be a good band name. And we went, okay. You know,
Yeah, no, it works.
There
It's
was.
catchy,
You know,
it's easy to remember, and
yeah, and it's kind of about the whole world being like this. You know.
it's a head down generation, man.
Yeah,
for
man.
sure.
And, you know, we're kind of not a digital band, so it's kind of, the name's kind of opposite of what we do, so it is what it is.
Well, yeah, you're a three-piece, you know, punk alt rock band, you know, so it's, but you know, like we said, we talked about it. It's one of those things where the industry is kind of steered everyone that way. Whether you want to be, if you want to survive it,
Yeah, we
kind
are
of,
whatever anybody thinks we are.
Yeah,
You know,
awesome.
but I love it, and so the boys. We're great friends, and we love being a band together.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to catching you guys live tonight. And I asked the fellas as well, any covers? Are you guys thinking about doing covers today?
We have done covers before. We're not doing them tonight.
Okay.
We've done Sedated. We've done a couple.
Okay. Right.
But not tonight.
Not tonight. I like it. I like always everyone's like, screw the covers tonight. Let's do it tonight. Awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate
Thank
the
you,
time.
man.
I hope you had a good time talking with me. And this is Brian here from the Revelator Show, man. Thanks a lot. Digital Brains.